Have you ever looked at your life and felt like something is still missing, even when everything seems fine from the outside? If yes, then stay with me, because this story may feel like your own. His name was Adam. If you saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't think anything was wrong. He dressed normally. He spoke kindly. He had a steady job. He even smiled at people when they talked to him. From the outside, Adam looked like a man who had things under control. But inside, Adam was fighting a quiet battle every day. For as long as he could remember, Adam had a deep feeling that he was never quite enough. Not a complete failure, not someone who always messed up, but still not enough. Like he was always close, but never fully there. When Adam was young, his parents often compared him to his older brother Ryan. Ryan was the perfect one in their eyes. He got better grades, spoke with confidence, and seemed to do everything right. Adam wasn't bad, but he was always second best. Over time, those small comments stayed in his heart. They turned into a voice in his head that said, "You're not like him. You're behind." At school, teachers told Adam he was smart, but that he didn't work hard enough. They said he had potential, but he wasn't using it the right way. Even when he tried his best, it didn't feel like anyone noticed. And when they did notice, the praise didn't last long. It was like it slipped away too fast. Later, when Adam had relationships, the same feeling followed him. At first, things were nice, but slowly, some partners became distant. They didn't always explain why. Adam would sit alone at night wondering, did I do something wrong? Is there something broken in me? He didn't hate himself, but he didn't trust himself either. And the truth is, Adam's story is not rare. Many people carry the same pain. It's that tired feeling of never measuring up. Even when you are doing okay, you still feel behind. Even when you succeed, something inside whispers, it's not enough yet. That voice is sneaky. It hides behind your smile. It hides behind your work, your family, your plans. It doesn't always shout. Most days, it just quietly repeats things like, you should be further in life. You should be stronger. You should be better. You should be more. So even when Adam achieved something, it didn't bring peace. Compliments felt light and quick, but criticism felt heavy and stayed for years. He could remember a mistake from long ago more clearly than any win from last month. Adam didn't know the name for what he felt, but this kind of pain has a pattern. It makes people believe their value depends on results, on grades, money, looks, or approval. And when they don't reach those things, they don't just feel sad. They feel like they are the problem. Adam was living under that weight, without even knowing it. And this is where his real journey begins. But here's the big question. Where does this not enough feeling really come from? And why do so many people carry it today? Adam wake up one day and decide to feel small. This feeling didn't start because of one bad moment. It grew slowly, like a shadow that gets longer without you noticing. And the sad part is, the world around him helped that shadow grow. From the time Adam was a kid, life felt like a test. In school, students were always measured. Who got top marks? Who was faster? Who spoke better? Who made fewer mistakes? Even if Adam did well, there was always someone doing a bit better. So he started thinking life was a race he had to win just to feel okay. Later, when he became an adult, that same pressure didn't stop. It just changed shape. At work, people were compared again. Who worked harder? Who got promoted? Who looked more confident? Who had a better life? Adam saw others moving forward and felt like he was standing still. He also spent a lot of time on social media. At night, he would scroll and scroll. He saw friends traveling, smiling, buying new things, celebrating wins. But he didn't see their bad days or their fears. He only saw the best parts. And then he compared those perfect pictures to his real life. That made him feel even worse. Without knowing it, Adam was living with an invisible ruler in his mind. No matter what he did, the ruler kept moving. He would reach one goal, and instead of feeling proud, his mind would say, "Okay, now do more." He could never rest. Many people live like this. In fact, studies say about 8 out of 10 people in the world struggle with feeling not good enough at some level. That means most people you pass on the street are carrying a quiet worry inside. They just don't talk about it. Why is this feeling so common? Part of it comes from how humans are built. Long ago, being part of a group was important for survival. If the group rejected you, life became dangerous. So our brains learned to fear rejection and failure. That fear helped people stay safe back then. But today, that same fear is still in us, even though life is different. And modern life pushes it even more. Schools, jobs, ads, and social apps are built to make you compare yourself. When you compare yourself, you feel behind. When you feel behind, you work harder, buy more, and chase approval. The cycle never ends. Adam didn't know any of this science. He just felt tired. Every day felt like running on a treadmill. He was moving, but not arriving. He believed that if he did more, achieved more, or proved himself more, then one day he would finally feel enough. But that day never came. And maybe you know this cycle too. You might tell yourself, if I lose some weight, I will feel confident. Then you lose it, and your mind says, still not enough. Or you say, if I get this job, I will be happy. Then you get it, and you're already worried about the next thing. That's the trap Adam was stuck in. But here's something Adam still didn't understand yet. This feeling is not proof that he is broken. So what is it really, and how can someone start breaking this painful cycle? Adam kept telling himself that the problem was him, that if he could just fix himself, everything would feel better. But one slow morning, something inside him started to question that idea. He was sitting alone with a cup of tea, staring at the wall, feeling heavy for no clear reason. He had a job, he paid his bills, he wasn't failing in a big way. Still, he felt empty. And for the first time, he thought, what if I'm not the real problem here? That thought didn't erase his pain, but it opened a door. Adam started noticing how his not enough feeling showed up in small daily ways. At work, he would write an email, then read it again and again. Sometimes he rewrote the same message 4 or 5 times, not because it was bad, but because he was scared someone might think it was silly. In meetings, he often stayed quiet. Even when he had a good idea, his mind said, "Don't say it, it's not smart enough." When people praised him, he brushed it off. If someone said you did great, he would reply, "Oh, it was nothing." But if someone gave even a small criticism, it stayed with him all day. Sometimes, all week. Praise felt like wind. Criticism felt like a stone. He also noticed how he said sorry too much. Sorry for asking a question. Sorry for needing help. Sorry for taking space. The words came out before he could stop them, as if he was always trying to stay small so no one would be disappointed. Over time, Adam realized something important. This feeling was not a loud pain. It was quiet. It didn't scream. It whispered. It lived in hesitation, in overthinking, in comparing, in secretly feeling bad when others succeeded. not because he hated them, but because their success made him feel even more behind. That's when he saw the truth clearly. The feeling of never being good enough is not proof that you are broken. It is proof that you are human, living in a world that benefits from your doubt. Adam started seeing how many things around him were pushing that doubt. Ads telling him he needed to look better. Posts showing perfect lives. People acting like success was the only thing that mattered. The same places that made him feel low were also offering him solutions to buy, follow, or chase. And that made him angry for the first time, not at himself, but at the idea that his worth had to be earned every day like a paycheck. Still, Adam didn't want to stop growing. He wasn't trying to become lazy or careless. He just wanted to grow from a healthy place, not from hate. He learned there are two kinds of striving. One kind says, I want to improve because I care about myself. The other says, I must improve because I am not okay as I am. The first one helps you rise. The second one drains you. Adam finally understood that his whole life had been built on the second kind. And no matter how hard he ran, he was never going to feel peace that way. So if Adam wasn't broken, what could he do next? How does someone change a mind that has been trained to doubt itself for years? Adam didn't change overnight. There was no big movie moment where he suddenly loved himself and everything became perfect. Real change came in small steps, and some days were still hard. But after that quiet morning when he questioned his old beliefs, he decided to try something new. He started with one simple idea. Maybe his worth was not something he had to earn. That was hard to accept. For years, Adam believed worth came from doing more. More work, more success, more approval. But now he wanted to test another way of living. So he began writing in a notebook at night. Not a fancy journal, just a normal notebook. At first, he wrote down the things he finished that day. Tasks, goals, work wins. But he noticed something. Even when the list looked good, he still felt empty. It was the same old pattern, so he changed the way he wrote. Instead of asking, "What did I achieve today?" he asked, "Who was I today?" He wrote small things. I listened to my friend without rushing him. I made tea for my mother when she was tired. I went for a short walk even though I didn't feel like it. I didn't shout when I was stressed. I rested when my body needed it. These were not big achievements, but they felt real. They reminded him that life was more than winning. At first, the old voice still told him, "This is not enough, you should do more." But Adam didn't fight the voice with anger. He just replied softly in his mind, "I hear you, but I don't have to follow you." Another small change he made was how he talked to himself. He noticed that his inner words were cruel. If he made a mistake, he said things like, "You're useless," or "You always mess things up." He would never talk like that to a friend. So he tried a new rule. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. So when he failed at something, instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," he tried saying, "This was hard, and I'm still learning." Instead of "I'm behind," he tried, "I'm moving at my own pace." Instead of "I ruined everything," he tried, "I made a mistake, but I can fix it." These words felt strange in the beginning, like wearing new shoes that don't fit yet. But with time, they started to feel more natural. Adam also chose one day each week to step away from things that made him compare too much. He didn't delete social media forever. He just gave himself one quiet day without scrolling. On that day, he felt lighter. His mind was calmer. He was living his own life, not watching others. Slowly, Adam started to feel something new. Not pride in a big way, but peace in a quiet way. The heavy backpack in his mind was still there, But now he was taking stones out of it, one by one. But even with these changes, Adam still had a big question left. What does enough really mean? And how can a person define it for themselves? Adam was learning new habits, but one thing still confused him. He kept asking himself, okay, but what does enough really mean? Because for most of his life, enough had never been a clear place. It was always moving. It was always farther away. So he decided to look at his life in a different way. Adam thought about a newborn baby. A baby has no job, no grades, no success, no skills. Still, everyone knows that baby has value. Nobody asks the baby, "What have you achieved?" People love the baby just because it exists. Adam sat with that idea for a long time, and he realized something simple but powerful. If a baby is worthy just for existing, then maybe adults are too. Somewhere along the road of growing up, Adam had started believing that worth must be earned. That belief didn't come from one person only. It came from school, work, friends, and the world around him. The world trained him to think, if you are useful, you matter. If you are not, you don't. But that idea was not fair, and it was not true. Adam didn't want to stop dreaming or working. He still had goals, and he still cared about growth. But now he wanted to separate his goals from his value. He told himself, I can want more for my life, but that doesn't mean I'm less right now. I can try to improve, but I don't need to hate myself to do it. I can fail and still be worthy. This was a new way of thinking, and slowly, it began to change how he acted. At work, he started speaking a little more. Not every time, not perfectly, but more than before. Even if his voice shook inside, he reminded himself, I don't need to be perfect to be heard. When he made mistakes, he tried to see them as part of life, not proof that he was bad. He would say this was hard. I will learn. He didn't always believe it right away, but he kept saying it anyway. He also stopped measuring his life only by big wins. He started noticing small good moments again. A good talk with a friend, a quiet evening, a walk in fresh air, a helpful act. These things didn't make him famous or rich, but they made him feel human. And something else changed too. He began to feel less jealous of other people's success. Before, their wins felt like a mirror showing him what he lacked. But now, he could look at them and think, good for them. My life is not a race against theirs. Adam wasn't fully healed. The old voice still came back sometimes. But now he had another voice too, a calmer one, that said, you are already enough, even while you grow. Still, Adam knew one thing. The old voice wouldn't disappear just because he understood the truth. So how do you keep going when doubt returns? Even after all these changes, Adam still had days when the old feeling returned. Some mornings he woke up and the heavy voice was back, saying, you are falling behind again. Some nights he still looked at his life and felt unsure. But the difference now was this. Adam no longer believed that voice was the truth. He started seeing it as a habit his mind had learned long ago. A habit that could speak but didn't have to lead. One evening, after a tough day, Adam was walking home. He had made a small mistake at work, and the old thoughts were shouting inside him again. You always mess up. People will think you're weak. You're not as good as others. He stopped walking for a moment and took a deep breath. He didn't try to push the thoughts away. He didn't pretend they weren't there. He just noticed them. Then he asked himself a simple question. Is this thought helping me or hurting me? He knew the answer. So he gently said in his mind, okay, I feel this way right now, but this feeling is not my identity. It is just a moment. That small pause mattered, because before, Adam would drown in his thoughts. Now, he could stand beside them. He also remembered something important. Healing is not a straight line. Some days you feel strong, other days you feel small again. That doesn't mean you failed. It just means you are human. Adam kept doing his small practices, even on bad days. He kept writing his enough list. He kept speaking a little kinder to himself. He kept taking breaks from comparison. And slowly, he felt the ground under his feet becoming more solid. Over time, Adam started understanding what freedom really looks like. It doesn't mean you never hear doubt again. It means you don't obey it. He began to live like a person who was already worthy. He still worked on his goals, but he didn't chase them like they were life or death. He didn't need the next win to prove his value. He started enjoying the process more. He also became more honest with people around him. When a friend asked, "How are you really doing?" Adam didn't always say fine anymore. Sometimes he said, "I've been struggling with feeling less than others." And to his surprise, many people replied, "Me too." That made him feel less alone. Because the truth is, most people carry a hidden fear of not being enough. The difference is whether we stay silent about it or face it gently. Adam's life didn't become perfect, but it became real. It became lighter. He learned that he didn't need to earn the right to exist. He already had it. And maybe that's the biggest thing this story can offer you too. If you've been living with the same silent pain, remember this: you are not behind in life. You are not broken. You are not your mistakes. You are a person learning how to live, and that is already enough. So the next time that old voice comes back and says, "You're not enough," pause and ask yourself what Adam learned to ask. Is that voice telling the truth, or is it just an old habit I don't need anymore?